guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm doing my October wrap up. I wanted to do like a lot of spooky reads, which I had in my TBR, but I kind of went through books that God bless you, my dog just sneezed. I don't know if anyone heard that except me. But come here. Hi. Say hi. Hello. So I kind of wanted to go through the books in September that I didn't get to first. So I didn't get to all my spooky-ish books that I wanted to. So I think I'm going to kind of put that over into November and hopefully get that done. So the first book I finished was Winnie the Pooh. It was just so sweet. I don't even know if I've ever read it before, but all the stories are just really sweet and have a beautiful message, and it's like friendship and all of that, and I really loved it, and I feel like I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, which if you're not following me, I'll link that below. But it was just a nice, sweet little book and nice reminder of how to be a good friend and just be a good person and all of that. The next book I read was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This was kind of it fit in pretty well already with October because it's magic themed and not like totally spooky, but has this like really like supernatural element to it, which is fun. And it's basically, it was 2 children kind of get pitted together into this competition where they basically, one of them has to die at the end, whoever doesn't win, and so they get trained by their mentors throughout the book. And this circus is like their playing ground. Please stop licking me. Please stop. No, please stop. My dog gets in these weird habits where she just won't stop licking you, and it's like she's possessed, and no matter what you do, like it's like she has to lick whatever it is. It's so weird. Stop it, please. So they get pitted together and end up falling in love, and you know, chaos ensues. But the circus, this like really crazy magical circus, is kind of their playground to show off their skills or whatever. I thought this book was really great. It had so much great description. The circus just sounded amazing, and every time I picked it up, I felt very transported into this world. At the end, I don't want to give it away, but you know, with this whole competition, a conclusion ends up happening. And I don't know if I'm just like dumb, but I just wanted more from it because it happened and I was just kind of like, okay, but it didn't feel as satisfying as I wanted it to feel, if that makes sense. And even the love story, I get they were in love, but I felt like the male lead had a love interest in the beginning, where a lot of time I felt like was spent on their relationship, and then the person who he was actually in love with, like his opponent, I just feel as though their relationship didn't have as much of a build-up, and it wasn't as satisfying to me for some reason. It was okay, but I wanted a little more, and I wanted some more from the conclusion. But besides that, it was a really beautiful book. I gave it 4 stars. I recommend it. I think it's a great story, and I think the author did a great job describing everything, and I want to go to this random circus, like, really bad. But yeah, so that, you know, just because of those few elements, I gave it 4 stars. Otherwise, this would have totally been a 5-star read, and that's just my personal preference. Maybe someone else reading it would be really satisfied with the conclusion and with the love story, but I just wanted a little more from the love story personally. The next book I read, oh, it's so sweet. It was I'll Give You the Sun. It has this beautiful quote on the cover that's in the book, and it's, "We're all heading for each other on a collision course no matter what. Maybe some people are just meant to be in the same story." And I love that so much. It's basically a twin brother and sister, and it keeps going back and forth from different perspectives. So the boys' chapters are from when they're younger, like like 13 to 14, and then the girls' chapters when they're older, like 16, 17. And basically they were really close, like super close siblings, and then events happened that tore them apart. So in the girls' chapters, when they're older, they're like not really speaking and they're not on good terms. And the boys' chapter kind of shows them being close and how they get torn apart. And oh, it was so beautiful. They both had their own little love stories as well. And the love stories were just so heartbreaking and gorgeous, and like I was just reading this and was just so enraptured with it. To me, it was just a beautiful story, and I loved the sibling relationship, and I was just really happy with this book. I gave it 4 stars because I feel like for me, I don't know what it is with me, but sometimes the endings, like the ending was fine. That I liked the ending, but I was kind of wanting just a tad bit more. That's it. Like, besides that, I loved the whole thing. I thought it was beautiful, and I got through it very quickly because I was just, it's not like short, but it's not super long. It's like 370 pages, but I just was speeding through it because it was just beautiful and wonderfully done, and I recommend it so much. And this quote just, this book is so beautiful, and I just kept staring at this beautiful quote, and I love it so much. I love it so much. The other book I read in completion was, this is a reread for me, but it was called Brag, The Art of Tooting Your Own Horn Without Blowing It, Peggy Klaus. I read this a few years ago because I have trouble, you know, tooting my own horn sometimes, and it's just a book, and like it's also good for people who maybe are too good at bragging and make people hate you. It's just a book about how you can sell yourself for work or whatnot, just in an effective way without coming across as too modest or without coming across as a total jerk. And you know, it was a good reread. I feel as though after reading it the first time, I kind of found a good medium, but it doesn't hurt to reread stuff like this. And a lot of the stuff feels a little bit, I don't know, stilted almost. I feel like if I were to try some of these tips, it would come across like as though I were trying to come across a certain way, but I feel like it's just working it into your own way of speaking and being as natural as possible. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's, you know, I think it's a good book. I do think it's worth a read, especially if you're someone who's currently in between careers and is having trouble finding a new job. I think it's really good for, had a lot of good like interview sort of tips. It's not something I'm typically doing at the moment as an actress, but I think if you're doing a more traditional 9-to-5 job, this book is excellent for you. The last book I'm not quite done with. I'm about 30% done with The Kept Woman by Karen Slaughter. I've wanted to read a Karen Slaughter book for like a year now or so, and I'm honestly a little bit disappointed. It's kind of a detective novel, and so far I'm just like not invested, and I don't care at all. I don't know why. It's like readable, but I'm just like not pumped to pick it up. So I'm not sure. I mean, maybe I'm only on page 143, and so there's been kind of a lot of setup, and they're kind of starting to get into it now, but I'm so far like not as impressed as I wanted to be. But I'm obviously like, I'm not writing it off yet, but I don't know if detective books are quite my thing, but we'll see. I'm obviously gonna give it a chance. So that was my October wrap up. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe below and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.